All right, here we go. Thank you, Father, for the blessing to understand the gospel. Above all, understand that we must be put in the narrow way to go through a suffering, through not going by the mammon. Can't serve two masters. The Shem and the Agape. Thank you, Father, for that. Of the old, I understand. I have the Busos, the knowledge for creating all things. That is very important to understand, that the knowledge that we're given is all different. We're all held to a different measure, and he pours out that measure on each and every one of us justly when he returns. And that's going to be at judgments, when the seventh shofar, the seventh seal, the seventh horn, the final trump sounds, the sound into that final and last cosmos is an orderly arrangements, of seven trumpets, soundings of seven horns, and it's called the shofar. It's the ram's horn. They would blow the shofar. Like again, I've explained on this channel of the warning of the horns, the shofars, the sounds, the not to cause alarm, but to sound an alarm, a sound that shouldn't cause alarm. You shouldn't be anxious, but those are like a sign. A sign could be a horn of an upcoming, a coming cyclical cycle. Like a sign is prognosko. The Greek word is to have foreknowledge, to know what is a sign, is to warn you of what is to come. So not prophecy. Prophet is the word teacher. So thank you, Father, for the blessing to be able to spread this gospel and teach others this narrow way, hados, and the blessing of the ministry, and that it's done in your Shem and your Agape and your love and your name, and not in my own, my eyes, my thieves, my mammon of my own, but a place to sup where people can come and gather in your two or three, in your Agape. There you will be in their midst. So he's always with me. I know you're always with me, Father. Thank you for that. So first part of the day here, been up for a minute, just doing the duties out here at the farm, cold, keeping the cabin warm here and keeping wood on the fire. Again, what a blessing it is to have this place away out here in the narrow and away from the noise and the lights and this dark sky sanctuary. So what a blessing it is to have a place to lay my head, although got the animals out here with me. They're all hanging out. Yeah, we're gonna get one right here. Yeah, they're all here with us, so they're always hanging out. Aren't you, big guys? So thank you for the blessing of the animals. Again, we're gonna probably continue to speak of this way, the narrow way to get away from this dying constitutional republic, which is dead. And the way to fight it is to fight it by not participating in it and partake, be in it, but be not of it. So I'm going to continue to teach that lesson, how to beat the system and stick it to the man, if you will, without violence. The opposite, a meek, always give a chance for forgiveness, always give that chance, so I kind of keep that one foot in the system, if you will, until the system totally locks up. So thank you for this blessing, Father. Thank you for narrowing this ministry down. We see what's going on with this channel, and totally okay with that. It's where it needs to be. Your timing is impeccable. It's infallible. It's can't change it, can't twist it, can't pervert it. It's eternal. So it's not something that's even has a number, if you will. It's day after day, night after night, like it says in the book of Psalms. So thank you for that celestial clock above my head, and understanding of all these busos knowledge of these rituals they keep playing, and being that you made me a veteran and have a background in law enforcement, I have this standard that I'm held to because I have this busos knowledge that I understand that I don't have the same measure as all of those. So, and you don't pour out the same measure in each one of us. When you return, you say you will justly, you will right every wrong, you will, make every pain, take every pain and ache and ailment away, and it will all be done by judgments and by justly pouring out. Each one of us have a different measure that we're given. So holding myself to this standard, not above, but to a standard to busos, having an understanding on how this works, I make sure that I don't lack and fall short. And I thank Father for that. I mean, I have, but I know that I must not. What a blessing it is to know Christ, to know the anointed, to know Jesus, what they call Jesus, and be able to teach about this, and through all the gospel, through all the books, the New Testament, and what a blessing it is to pastor the gospel to others, because that's what we have to do as a watcher and a teacher and a pastor. And with this ministry, it's what you've created me to do. You created me to do your will, your Shem, your love. And I thank you for keeping the path narrow, and because I now have a much, again, higher understanding of things that could have been done and should have been done. That's okay. We all make mistakes, and we're all a work in progress. That's what salvation is, and that's what repentance is. There's a process. Forgiveness doesn't come without walking in repentance, and you first must be rebuked by Father. Your heart will be rebuked. He will, Shiloh, Christ, the Hamashiach, the Messiah, will rebuke the mammon, the Jezebel things of this. No matter which Shem, I believe, which love it's all that same, that Father through Shiloh calls out to us to stand up. He makes us understand that he stood up, and that's where most people don't. The treasure is the tree of life. The brothers and sisters that sup in this hados, in this refinement, like a refiner's fire, like clay that's been worked, and all the impurities that get beat or pushed or worked. If there's an impurity in clay and you put it in a kiln and a fire, it'll crack, it'll break, and you'll just have to start all over, and that makes it worthless. That's the word vain, worthless. So we're vain, we're worthless if we don't follow his commandments. 2 John and 6, love him, but people teach this other gospel. They don't know it, and that's fine. It's not for me to decide who is a goat and who's a sheep. It was already wrote from the foundation of the world. I'm blessed to be able to teach that. And so I'll continue to pastor this predestination and the elect, and and teach people that it's not just Jews, but it's Jews and Gentiles. And we get to share that. That's what we're supposed to share, be sharing. We're supposed to be charitable with that light, love, agape thy enemy, like the agape thyself, like the agape thy neighbor. That's the word love. But people won't define anything, and that's not up to me to decide who defines and who doesn't. So just like under this heading, the constitutional republic is dead, because we're not. We're passing executive orders, and that's not constitutional. And there's laws that say impugn to the Constitution. If they make a law that's unconstitutional, we're not supposed to follow that. And that's part of being Christ-like. That's what Christ did. That's why they hung him on a tree. But 99% of the pastors out there are telling people that Christ was hung on a cross. And he wasn't hung on a cross. That's blasphemy. Can't be anxious or fear or worry about that. I need to stay in the hados, stay in the narrow way, or be not in it, but be not of it. Be in it, but stay in the word, not of the world. Jezebel, these two thieves, these things of this dirt will try to take my crown. There's always two masters, right? Can't serve two. Which one are you serving? Here, when you walk this rock, that's what it's about. It's after you leave this place. You're supposed to have your loins girded. That's an action, like the word believe is an action word. You can't believe in Jesus Christ. People think that's a thought in their head, and that's blasphemy too. The word believe is an action word. It's a verb, but they don't, I'm not some kind of, that's not rocket science there. That's a verb. That's back to like elementary, and noun, predicate, all the adjective, all these things are, some of it's elementary. I'm not trying to talk down to people, but they have no spiritual calculator. Things, they don't add things up, and they don't try to even ask any questions. And that's what religion is done to people in this modern day. These are the synagogues of Satan, which is the word adversary, which is antichrist, not the Antichrist, but the Antichrist spirit. And that's how most people find their anti is through translation. The Antichrist is three genders: transgender, man, beast, and woman. And that's why they push this vain religions. And he wrote through the writings through John that he visited at the island of Patmos. He wrote, remember, the letter to the 7 churches, which all had, you don't dwell in temples, houses made by hands. He said that. So that's the problem with people who go after these religions instead of chasing the word and chasing what is called definition, transliteration, literally defining the words and not accepting what a man would tell them. He said, believe no man, be sure no man deceive you. You cannot serve two masters, Mammon and Father, the Most High. Shiloh, the one to return and redeem his bride that he sent in flesh. But that's not the Jesus that most people go after. They go after the other Jesus that it speaks about in Scripture. And when I teach them that there's two Jesus, they freak out on me because they're religious. And he himself warned Hamashiach, the Messiah. They don't speak any other language other than American, most people. It's not even English anymore, not proper. I couldn't say yeah to my dad. My father's not in the sky. My father's not my dad. When it says in the Old Testament, honor thy father and the 10 commandments and thy mother, that's not your mom and your dad. People just lose it. They're religious idiots. That's what religious does to people. Religious isms, Calvinism, Mormonism, they're all these. I go through the list, but they're all the same. Christianity, Baptists, Southern Baptist. Well, they used to understand predestination. That's very important that you understand that Father created all things. So nothing's happening by chance. And when you can get that on your heart, then it's a whole different understanding. The way the word works completely different. You don't buy into this lollipop Christianity, Mormons, Catholics, Protestants, Presbyterians, Lutherans. They're all religions. Just like, again, he wrote a letter to the 7 churches that even the Church of Philadelphia had its issues, and that'd be more closest to this modern day version of what we call this. I don't know. They're all traditions of men. These are the synagogues of Satan. Once again, is the time of Christ. He doesn't dwell in houses made by hand. So he made that very clear. He said, where there are 2 or 3 gathered in my agape, my love, my Shem, and it needs to be the canonized interlinear Textus Receptus, meaning you're studying in the text it's written in, not some watered down version, as he says, a watered down version of the milk. He talks about in the book of Malachi about the meat. Eat of the meat, and that's what I give is the gospel, not the other Jesus in the other gospel Paul warned about. See, there's that second Jesus right there. And people, no, there's no 2 Jesuses in the Bible. Okay, whatever. Jesus wasn't his name. name is the word Shem. Shem is the word agape. That is the word love. That's found in the book of 2 John and 6. To walk and follow in the commandments of the Father. He commands you to take up your cross daily. Are you taking up your cross? See, that's what religions do to people. Turn them into isms or houses made by hands, when he doesn't dwell in a temple made any more by hands. It was all physically destroyed with his prophecies through no stone would be left upon another physical, hung a physical flesh body from a tree, crucified, and we must go through the same. Follow after me for standing up against the law. That's why Christ, the anointed, Christ is a pagan term. The letter J was, Z wasn't the last letter added to the alphabet. The letter J was. So the letter J didn't exist at the time of the Messiah, the Hamashiach. Forward is what most people do, twist or change. That's the Hebrew. Remember, he was a Hebrew Israelite. He was the lion from the tribe of Judah. He was the king, Leo. Remember Shiloh, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. He became the high priest, hallelujah, to stand before Father and say, no, Father, these are mine. Remember, I'm bringing them before you without flesh. They're ready to be with you, Father, because they gave up their flesh. Remember, Father, you separated them from your light, and I came to be the mediator, the high priest, Leo. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, the lion, from the tribe of Judah. He sprang out of Judah. Most beautiful sign. Standing still at the head. This is at the Magi. This is the Magi. This is what they saw. As they were patient, they didn't fall asleep. They continued their watch of the king, giant Jovian gas star, and continued their watch. Because it had birthed an age from fire to water, and he had to birth a vessel of water through the matrix, through the amniotic fluid, through the water. Water birthed a flesh body, because Father does not exist. He is light, fire, horizo, division between flesh and no flesh. He pulls us to his no flesh from above, light, horizo, the division of day and night, dark and light. Predestination, Romans 8:29. I also did foreknow who I did predestined to conform to my image. So you got to do what he did. Are you standing up against perversion of unclean aletheia truths, unclean constitutional law? That's not, none of this. All this is a fallacy. It's all a farce. It's all a show. It's all a big taxation corporation. Not a constitutional republic anymore. I'm a veteran. I can't even get any justice for myself or my own son. I have every bit of the evidence. I'm a prior pig, person in government, prior law enforcement, pig. SWAT, Special Weapons and Tactics, pig. Special Reaction Team, pig. Law enforcement, 95 Bravo, pig. Military, police, and the Army, pig. Done this filthy, disgusting system. Serve this, put people in a box, in a cage, without a victim. Victimless crime. Couldn't be any more filthy than I. But he said, come out of my people. Do not partake in their unfruitful works of darkness. You will know them by their fruit. So all I've done, unclean things and I don't do these things anymore. I expose these things, and that's what Christ did. He stood up to the perversion of the Agape, the Torah at the time, because they'd made their own halakha and Haggadah, because I have a higher understanding of the way the military and law enforcement, SWAT, and all these things work. I don't use these things against man. I use meek. I use the word. My testament, my walk on this rock will show that. I could have used violence. I have not. Instead, I've chose to use the word. And I've paid the price for that. And that's exactly what it says that will happen to me. You shall be persecuted for my Shem's sake. They threw Christ in prison. This ain't no lollipop Jesus channel. Jesus is not his agape. That's not his love. That's not his name. Name is Shem. That's not the law. That's not under the law. I have to be prosecuted, persecuted, suffer for standing against the perverted law. And that's what Christ did. And that's why they hung him on a tree. And he said, do what I did. Does anybody want to hang you and put holes in you? Rip your beard out of your face? Does that sound like the Christ you know? I take this walk on this rock very seriously because he made me a tyrant pig person in government. He warned about supping with vipers and casting your pearls before swine, brothers and sisters. That's a pig. Low energy. Father did not like taxation. When he sent Shiloh, remember? Shiloh, under this meat covenant, he whipped the people selling after fastening the cording on the curtains and whipped those people selling the doves because of the exchange rate from the old money to all this to the new, all this exchanging and feeing and taxing. You've turned my father's house into a den of thieves. Now your body is a temple. And you fee this body, and you think Father is not going to be okay if you go by this Shem and this judge that shall be judged. You go by a corporation, you're going to be judged as a corporation. Or that's the standard that I'm held to because I understand this agape. I understand this authority. Father is my commander. He's the wind in my sail. He's what's steering this ship. This ain't my will. He's what keeps this thing afloat, to be honest with you. But people don't know that Christ. They don't know the Christ they hung from a tree because he ate wheat on the Sabbath. There were many things, again, that people won't look at when they try to, talk about Christ, and they should not say anything. You shouldn't say anything about Jesus. You shouldn't say anything about Christ. You shouldn't say anything about the Messiah. Unless you 100% have defined it and know it. That's the very last thing he said when in the book that he left us with, the instructions. Don't add to this book your own opinion. These eyes, don't let these eyes take your crown. Don't let no man take your crown. Thieves, he warned about, there's 2 witnesses. I wonder who those are. Hang on that cross right there. He tells you to carry it daily and suffer because you know. And go out and spread that light. So I have to hold myself to a standard if I'm a prior pig, clown pig, cop pig, all badged up and all commerce cop is all they are. No wonder I can't get any justice. For liberty and justice for all? No, there is no justice. I have living proof of that right now. I am, and my son is as well, and my daughter. I have no idea where they are, and the system has just failed, completely failed. Although people make mistakes, my son made a mistake, and I stood against this. I have what is called affirmative defense. I know my rights because remember, I used to be a pig, and although I have an understanding, it doesn't make me above, and I didn't use any of these special weapons and tactics, special reaction team, all my law enforcement, expert marksmen, all these right of the Constitution, the 4th Amendment right to unalive 3 men on this property who violated my 4th Amendment. And I understand under Title 18 that I have that right to deem them an intruder. And if I did, I would not be permanently scarred for life by these people who later brought men with guns. 20 plus. I don't know how many is that. There was a ton of them. There was a bunch of them, man, like locals to try to come in here and do, dirty deeds to me. But Father wasn't having it. And I'm very thankful, but it doesn't mean that this system is still not failed. I thought you were innocent until proven guilty. No, that don't work like that. Get over it. You think so. You thought so. You thought you knew. That's not the way this works. My life proves that. My son's life proves that. My daughter's life proves that. I'm a walking testament of that this constitutional republic has failed. A veteran who's defended this country, his right of the Constitution, freedom of speech, Constitution, right? We, the people, form this right, have this government, are the right of the people. We are the government. The people have forgotten that. The federal government is not federal is Federal Express now under this corporation, but they were only put in place to protect the organic God. I don't care what your belief is, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, right? That is the right of the people. That people is the Constitution. The people formed that Constitution, made that Constitution. People have forgotten that, and it doesn't matter anymore because it's a corporation. It's not a constitutional republic. When Chump can sit there and every one of them, I keep getting something coming out of my stove here. I need to turn this. Get the wood stove going out. This has been turned into a corporation long ago, but that doesn't take away my inalienable, God-given, natural, organic right of the land that I don't even need to have citizenship to have when I walk this rock, walking in here in these states of North America. This ain't America anymore, like the Constitutional Republic. That is long gone, and I know that, so I'm not going to stand here and act like it's not, it is still here, because it's not. I am living proof that they, instead of looking into the evidence, chose to SWAT my house. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And it's been nearly 9 months and not one single thing has been done about that. How is that even 9 months and nothing's been done? Not one thing after they illegally swatted this house. I have affirmative defense. I know all my rights. Affirmative defense, the definition of legal defense the legal definition of affirmative defense, or what is known as justification defense, is self-defense. So I have the right under affirmative defense, self-defense, to defend myself under the right of illegal prosecution. Under habeas corpus, I have the right to protect my son from that illegal prosecution. He has the right himself under excuse defense. Excuses my legal, criminal, and civil liability, my actions, to protect myself from illegal prosecution for unconstitutional rights or just illegal prosecution. Title 18, prosecution. That's if they're going to criminally prosecute you, it has to be under Title 18. I was telling you earlier, my Fourth Amendment right to be secure in my house, papers, persons, and effects. See, Congress shall establish no law prohibiting the exercise of free speech, of the press, and of religion. And because I exercise my right of free speech, they invaded my house because they thought they can come in here because I decided to get my daughter a shower and come. This is a sanctuary anyway. They would never come to this property because it is. This is a sanctuary and a ministry, and I had my son here protecting him because I have all the evidence to clear his name from this bull crap that they are trying to, and it didn't matter. Just like what's going on with this stupid crap that's going on with this 2.0 with Trump getting in office. Day one, he declares a national emergency. Doesn't mean it's not happening. It still is, just like last time. It's going to have its effects. These are still happening to people across the United States. Divided states is what they are. And I stand up for the right of the people. Because I use my mouth, that I use my constitutional right, that I am a threat to this corporation. Chuck E. Cheese clown show is all it is. It's a big Disneyland animatronic, and they're bringing that soon. That's their next flag they're going to wave in front of you. False, hello, eyes of the sky, Operation Popeye. They don't like people like me who know this system and know this tech and know the way this stuff works. People like myself who speak up about these oil wars that were unnecessary, 100% not even ever should have one single lobbying of any lead to any other nation is against this Fourth Amendment outside our own borders. right? To protect ours is to protect your own. We're not supposed to be under this covenant 2,600 years outside of our own borders. So I serve this system. So that's why I speak out so hard against it, because it's blasphemy according to this New Testament. We have the right under the Constitution, under the right of the Fourth Amendment, to be secure in your houses, papers, persons, effects. So somebody can stop you and you're anywhere. This ain't some serfdom, queens, king's land. You can't cut. That is not how this works. Christ didn't have to slap a license on the back of that ass when he rolled into Bethlehem, did he? Jerusalem. So it's coming, yes, Jeff. And that's what I'm tired of, these people who don't see this. You're an idiot. If you think this ain't going to happen, then you're just asleep at the wheel. And it doesn't mean that I'm some kind of man who says violent. What I'm trying to do is set myself away from this crap. That's why I already live away from it. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop it. Well, you're bringing it to you, Tracy. I got a protection here. I have a sanctuary. Like I said, they only are able to come out here because they don't even understand what's affirmative defense. I left this property to go get my daughter's shower, came back, and they brought men with, SWAT warrant. It's stupidity is what it is. It's absolute idiocracy. You can see it all. And instead of getting this armed standoff as they wanted to try to eliminate me, like Lavoy Finicum, they got the opposite. And, it's nearly 9 months, and they already shot my son, kidnapped my daughter, and I have no idea where either of them at. They just disappeared. Oh, this is such a great nation that's standing up for a veteran like myself that served this country. Got my honorable discharge out of this frickin' beast system. And this is how they're going to treat a veteran like myself. And because I'm a prior law enforcement officer and I know the rights and I know evidence, and they don't even want to look at the evidence. Not one time. I still have it on the board. Still to this day. Look, it's still up there. Look at it. It's all up there. It's all there. All there. How many thousands of hours have I streamed on this frickin' platform about my son's 180 hours? This whole thing, it's still on that board. That's why I haven't done a teaching. It's brother, sister, this is ridiculous. This is the constitutional republic that I supposedly defended, and this is the right of the people. Look at this. This is what they do to a man like me. Shoot your fucking windows out of your house, and I haven't cussed in a while, and I apologize. I'm going to use it one frickin' freebie. But, come on, man. All the other windows completely gone. But this is what they do to a man like me. Serve your right and defends the right of these people. Instead, they shoot my head, tear gas me, lob tear gas canisters. These whatever. I'll go to one. Come on. This is what you do. M203. This is stupid. I'm still cleaning this stuff up in this house, guys. I am suffered permanently from this stuff now. I'll never probably be able to get back what they've done. I mean, I have still issues to this day, and I don't talk about them. It is what it is. I ain't going to no stupid doctor. So anyways, I don't care about, their idiocracy. I know Father creates all things, and he's making them do that just to test me, because I'm held to a higher standard for my own, not above anybody, but because I understand this, because I was trained by Metro, LAPD, and was special weapons tactics trained in Hawaii and Honolulu, and did all the underground training and all the entry and all these, I never called for violence. I only teach the opposite. I teach how to stick it to the man by separating yourself from the system and be set apart. So it's ridiculous, brothers and sisters. This is what you do. I have all the evidence. I just showed you. If you slowed the thing down, you went back and you looked at the stream, you go, what is that? That's all the evidence you need right there to put all these people. Last time I went to court, their stupid animal kangaroo clown show, I walked out of there telling them, as soon as I proved what you see, my son's 180 hours, you're all going to prison. Every day those people get to threaten people to go to prison, send them to jail, put them in a cage, all that crap that I used to do. And it's not very often that they get somebody like myself will walk in there and tell that fake clown judge, look, I'm going to prove my son's 180 hours in court because they still have not given me an attorney after 9 months. They cannot provide under your Miranda rights if they're going to cost your body. And they did that day. They did it with men with guns, took me out of this house thinking they were going to shoot me. And instead they got the complete opposite. They did shoot my son. They were able to hit, the side of the screen. And I don't think it hit me in the face, but it's enough where I shouldn't even be talking right now. I should not even be able to hold a conversation with you. And if you don't think so, go look at that flash concussion, stun, grenade that was thrown at my headshot at the face. In my face is not how those, I know that. I'm a special weapons and tactics trained, special reaction team trained. SWAT is a term that they use for entry teams that enter with a 9-man team, man with the point man, shield man with the shotgun at the rear, all men ready to go into a building and eliminate the threat, direct a threat. Okay. These are terms used for special weapon, SAS, slow and smooth. Just go in and have, brothers, sisters, it's a mindset. But I never use this against these people. And just because I have the training doesn't mean that I was calling to be violent. I actually was calling for the opposite. I was calling for call to look into the evidence. If I'm innocent until proven guilty, I have every bit of evidence and then some. 10 ways that I can prove the evidence to clear my son. And I have affirmative defense. I have justification defense. I have excused defense. That means my civil and criminal liabilities are excused or justified of my actions to protect my right of a legal prosecution of self-defense. I have the right. Affirmative defense, the legal definition of affirmative defense is self-defense. I know my right. I stand up for the right of the people. Because I'm boisterous, I pay for this, brothers and sisters. So it is what it is. This is how it works. This is how this is supposed to work. This makes 100% sense to me because he said, you'll be persecuted for my Shem's sake. They already threw me in a cage, threw my son in a cage multiple times, and I have all the evidence to clear his name, but they don't want to look at the evidence. Not once has one call been made. Not once has one time has the evidence been looked at. I have produced thousands of hours because I know under the right of discovery and suppression of evidence that these things will be brought up in trial and no evidence can be suppressed. Under my discovery, I have the right and the of all defendants in this case, my own. When they released me the first time, they didn't even give me all the evidence. They've broken this Miranda right to adequate counsel under my Miranda rights and under my 6th Amendment fair, speedy trial and to call witness in my favor, my sons. I know this. I spent a massive amount of time in front of a judge on my own trying to get my son into a better situation than he was in as a single parent. I stood against this system of a family court to try to put my son in a better position again, where I defended my son in open court a couple times, and you did a better job than your attorneys. I know. So let's get this. Nope. Under this ruling, this system, brothers and sisters, is an enslavement system. What they do is they get people to take these gains, and it's called a plea. And 98.5% of cases do not render a jury verdict by jury, by your peers. They get hung by a man in a black robe who's acting as a judge, who's not acting in a judicial capacity. And this is the thing that's hard to swallow for myself for all these years that I was in this line of work. And I know there's, constitutional scholars and all these, there's not. These people don't know their 4th point of contact. That's a military term from a hole in the ground, okay? And they don't, because it's not like it's complex. This was a constitutional republic. We had a democratic process. We had a House, a Congress, and a Senate. That's all bull crap now. It's all a big dog and pony show. If they're going to criminally prosecute you, I don't care if it's a federal crime, whatever charges they're trying to bring against you, like all this stuff with J6, this is all idiocracy. Whether it's state level, like they brought the state police out here to SWAT my house. 20 plus men with guns shot 5 tear gas canisters into this house, hit me in the face with a concussion, stun, flash bang grenade, which would drop most people on their feet instantly with earplugs in and would maim your ear canal and scar and mar your eye for life, which I have problems because of that. I have suffered a stroke. I have physical problems because of what the state of Oregon did to me. The county and I had an issue with my son's probation because he had gotten in trouble and he did his community service. He got out of this town and did it. And that was the terms of his release. And then they said 3 years later he didn't. I said, bull crap, I was involved from the beginning. I have proof, and they never want to look at it to this day. Here we are 5 years later, nearly. 5 years later, and I have all the proof he did all this, and they still have not looked into one stitch, one call. Instead, they brought 5 of those locals and the 20 plus, got 30 men with guns to kind of try to get me to come out of this house with a gun. Because I know my Constitution, I have a First Amendment right. I never said I was going to use my Second Amendment. I said I have it, but I'm not. And I showed that through my testament, through my walk, as they walked on my rock, on my place, in my space, invaded my Fourth Amendment. I didn't unalive 2 state troopers that day. And I had the right. They later brought 30 men with guns who scarred me for life, and I would have eliminated those 2 men. They wouldn't be happening. I guarantee you would have got their attention then. Then they sent some other clown after my son had potentially already been missing. My son had already been missing, and they send this guy a month and a half later for me to show up at his trial, and then he doesn't show up at his trial? What the hell? And this guy doesn't listen. I have all this live stream too, brothers, sisters. 18 times I told this man to exit my property, go out to get, asked him, do you have a warrant? He looked like a pig, a person in government. He looked at a shaved head and a white car. Or do you have a warrant? I'm out here. I have fences. It's posted as clearly. You'd have drawn down any other driveway out in this thing. The local little media page and their Facebook, market, whatever, their Valley page out here, Christmas Valley, United, said, oh, well, if somebody comes wandering around my property, we just dig a hole because the cops don't do anything about it. We'll just deal with it ourselves. That's the normal driveway you drive out here. I live in that F around and find out kind of town. That song wishes it could be this town, because this ain't no town, F around and find out kind of town. This is a township. You understand? This ain't even a town. We ain't got no town. This is a township. So there ain't no lights, no stoplights, no stop signs like that. We ain't got no lights. There will be no lights out here. Do you understand? Are you afraid of the dark? Don't come to this town. Things go bump, and then they go into the hole, and then they deal with it later. Like I said, go look at the local page. That's normally the conversation. You drive down the wrong driveway and people will protect their Fourth Amendment. Stay off my property. I don't want you here. I have the right under the Fourth Amendment. If I deem you an intruder under Title 18 to be secure in my houses, papers, persons, and effects, I will deem you an intruder, and I have the force necessary, deem myself under that Title 18 to deem you and apply that force necessary. I get to apply that under my Constitution. I'm not telling you to do this, person, but this is your right, and this is what happens. And if that man who 18 times was told to exit my property and leave would have done it any other driveway, he wouldn't be here today. That's why I went and called him out in court last time. You should be in prison right now. You walked on my property. Oh, you look at it. His name is John Mogul. These people get a free pass. They can break the law. You exercise your right under the Constitution, and they'll throw you in a cage, brothers and sisters. So be careful. That's what Christ said will happen to you. You be persecuted for my agape's sake. If there's a twist, if they change the law and you stand up, they will throw you in their cages, and they will do those things. They'll imprison you. Some of us, it might be in your own way. You understand? And they imprison you because your family, like Lovejoy, came out during New Year's and goes, I'm outside, man. My whole family's inside celebrating, and I don't want to be doing this. I don't even want to be here, and I'm outside. I'm like, yeah, you're in prison from your own family, and they don't like you, and they've separated you, and you are hated. Welcome to walking in the life of Christ. Some of us are held to a different standard, a measure, brothers and sisters. I think because I'm a prior pig and been a special weapons and tactics trained and special reaction team, and I've done all this certification and understand this, have this knowledge, busos, bathos, that my measure is different. And so I must hold myself to the constitutional standard because I know these things. I know that the only Title 18 court operating in an Article 3 court under the Title 18 statutes is constitutional. Anything else has not been adjudicated through our legislative process, the democratic process, through the House, Congress, and Senate. All this by executive order is serfdom. It's not part of the Constitution. And I rebuke anybody right now who is allowing this pretendant, the last one, Obama, with his 923 executive orders. And brothers and sisters, this is the issue that most people don't realize. It doesn't mean that these things aren't happening. Even though they might not be constitutional, doesn't mean that it doesn't mean it's not happening. And that's what he says. You must stand up for your right. And if you do, they will prosecute you. They will persecute through much the lipsis you must go through to receive that kingdom. And to receive that kingdom, he said, who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves daily. So you can't do what you want. Got to deny these eyes. Take up your cross daily. That's what he said. This is in the book of Matthew. Who shall ever be my disciple? It's in the book of Luke, the sister chapter. He always declares to witness. Are you a disciple of Christ? You live in a time where he said, love thy neighbor like thy love thy enemy, like thy love thyself. Only the disciples of Christ love Christ. The Mashiach, they walk in 2 John and 6. They love him. They walk and follow in his commandments. See, I understand these things because I've been a prior pig, law enforcement, clown cop, one of these commerce cops. And in the military, I was a military police, 95 Bravo. I did all my traffic reconstruction, crash reconstruction in the Highway Patrol Academy in Oklahoma City. I did all my special weapons and tactics training in Hawaii. Did all, whatever, all this. I never thought it would be a permanent thing, brothers and sisters. I did it for other reasons, but Father made that part of my life so he can rebuke my heart until I leave, like Paul, who was a mass murder of Christians and a Pharisee, brothers and sisters. We've all done things in our past we're not happy with. And like I said, in my son's case, he made a mistake and he paid for his mistake. And that's fine. We all make mistakes, and my son did, and he's been made to pay triple. So I know when Father returns, he will pour out a just measure. Whoever did this to my son and whoever does this to me, because they won't follow this Constitution, 9 months later after swatting my house, and you can see this is on the live stream. It's not easy to watch. But I separated it off and pulled it to the side. It's on the channel playlist. Please, just, it's not easy. I have a hard time watching it, but they had a different motive to come out here to try to unalive me, brothers and sisters. But Father did not having it that day. And it didn't matter how many men with guns they brought, and they ruined all this property and these fences and everything they did out here. They're not going to destroy this ministry. I came right back after they have 2 weeks of illegally, a whole extra week keep me in there illegal. All these things they've done from the beginning are 100% unconstitutional, but it doesn't mean that I'm not still 9 months here to this day and not one single thing has been done about it, because that is the corporation that I live in called America. And because I stand up for my rights and I tell them that I'm not all capital letters, that I'm always operating in a private capacity and never in commerce. My name is capital T, small r, small a, small c, small y, capital W, small e, small r, small n, small e, small r. When arrested, at the time of arrest, when asked my name, I said, my name is Apocalypse. It's on camera. They recorded it all. I made sure it was all being recorded, just like I live stream for hundreds of hours, and that's how the SWAT raid is all live streamed. What is your name? My name is Revelation. That's not your name. Yeah, that's false official statement to a police officer. Oh, that's another charge. Oh, cool, another charge. No, well, you can call me that. I don't start my life a crime. I don't have a record right now, but if you want to put it down as an alias or whatever, that's what my subscriber base as a minister and a pastor, they call me Revelation, Pastor Revelation. So my name's capital T, small r, small a, small c, small y, capital W, small e, small r, small n, small e, small r. My name is not in capital letters. If your system can't write it that way, that's not my mistake. That's just a bad on your system. But my name is not a corp or part of the corporation. I'm not a statute. I don't go on dates with men or follow mandates. You got that? It's all being recorded. That's what they said at the time of arrest. So I am not part of this corporation. I refuse to be a part of this because he says that you have to take willingly, and I will not willingly. I will stand against it as he did. He stood against what was known as the halakha and the haggadah. Brothers and sisters, this was the law that they had created on their own, which they have done, created a corporation and not the constitutional republic, because as Trump passes all these executive orders, They're not by judicial, legislative, and executive branches of our government. They're unconstitutional. But it doesn't mean that there won't be real world effects. So knowing that, what are you doing about it? See, I still have to live a life, or I got to do something about it. I still have a life to live. I don't even know, after 8-9 months, my son, if you heard earlier what I said, didn't even show up to his trial. He went missing online and has never been seen since. Did they shoot him again? They shot him once. Go listen to the live stream. His hands are in the air. I'm telling you, he's coming out. He's not resisting. I'm not resisting. We're all going peacefully. Nobody's resisting. My daughter didn't, and they still, what do I do? Which way do I go? And they shot him anyways. They still shot him anyways. In the chest. I found out where he was shot, in the chest. They shot him in the chest. What the hell, state of Oregon? These people are going to have hell to pay, brothers, sisters, as far as, what they've done. Father will pour out a just measure on anybody in this case. I know he will. It doesn't even matter if it's till my son's gone, if he's already gone. I don't even have any idea where he's at. Imagine being yeah, this is so stupid. I can't stand this constitutional republic is dead, and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to get to this real quick because, and I got to get off here pretty soon in a minute and get to my life here, brothers, sisters, because we only have so many days before February now, and I'm not picking like that. That's when this freaking idiot, who's going to spend more money and cause this. It's insanity what is going on right now. So you're going to be able to stick it to the man. You don't have to do what I did. I'm held to this standard, brothers, sisters. What you see in that SWAT raid is because I'm a prior special weapons and tactics trained. I'm prior, law enforcement. And so Father's going to hold me to this measure. Not every one of us is given the same measure. He pours out a just measure on each one of us when he returns. Through Christ Shiloh, if we are chosen, that is going to be our mediator. I understand this logistically. He's basically like having an attorney. Nope. Before the judge, where the wages of sin was death. Nope, I've covered them. And when that bail is set, he paid the price. Does the judge care about that? He only cares that you paid the price. The judge let him out. See, that is Christ Jesus. Hallelujah. Without that, I'd never stand a chance of seeing his kingdom. Hell no, it would be me. That's where I'd go. Guaranteed. I've done unfruitful works of darkness. I still suffer and wrestle with this flesh and been known to have a potty mouth months past and have curved that. But I still do things, brothers, sisters, that are not pleasing to Father. And he still pushes at me like a thorn in my side and says, don't do that. Start doing this. I still, just like I'm sure Paul wrestled again from the time, he was heart was rebuked on the road to Damascus till Father, took him and his final moments. I'm sure he was still struggling with being a Pharisee, and he was a mass murderer of Christians, brothers and sisters. So we've all done things. And again, I'm not concerned. It makes no sense on what is happening with my son. I know it's Father. I shouldn't be standing here before you, and I'm not some kind of special man. But if you go watch that live stream, no man that I know could be flash concussion grenade in the face and still stand to have conversation without being knocked completely into a different mental mindset, a different mental capacity, brothers and sisters. That should have ruptured my eardrum, should have completely taken out my whole right eye. And I only have that flash in which looks like a lot of hair and sand in my eye. And I'm just learning to live with it. It's just part of who I am now. And I don't care. I don't need two eyes. I can see still fine. My vision is still there. It's just weird with things with it moves around. And it's just something like an earring or something. You have to, after a while, you don't realize it. I've had a piercing for, since the early 90s, and you forget that you have something, after a while you become nose blind, if you will, to it. So, my son taught me that, but, it is what it is, brothers, sisters. I can't change what other Father has done. I know that there's nothing that I've done, and I know that I'm hoping that my son is very knowledgeable in the Word, and he truly loves the Word. And if somehow the state of Oregon got him, or my daughter, because I don't know where she's at, and I've got to put all my faith in the Most High, and that's why there's not a moment in time that I don't think about my son. Where is he at? I'm supposed to have justification. This is supposed to be some kind of country, innocent till proven guilty. No, you're not. They brought men with guns, and since that day, they have not looked into a stitch of evidence. And I still have all the evidence to clear my son. So that's why the last time I went to their kangaroo clown cop show, whatever their crap, I told him, as soon as I prove my son's Hunter and Elijah Werner's 180 hours, you're all going to go to prison. And I pointed at everybody in that courtroom. And they cleared the courtroom for me this time. They made sure nobody was there, and they stacked the house. I had brought witness. They put 10, I don't know, 5 or 6 uniform officers in there to try to intimidate me. This last time, brothers and sisters, it was a big show. They had the whole proceeding and gave me my own proceeding because they ran me over and then put me on the last. And they realized this time, don't put him in the courtroom with anybody else. He's not going to. I don't sit down. I don't partake in none of that. They don't even call my name like that anymore. They just call the case number and open their clown show. And because I've already told the courts that I don't recognize the authority of the fake clown man in the black robe is just a clerk, and he's not operating in a judicial capacity of challenge the authority of this Dave Vanderberg in this case, who's acting as a judge, and he's not operating in an Article 3 court. He's operating in Article 4, which is territorial, and that's administrative, so it's not judicial. There's only 3 article courts in the United States. There's only one single location that operates under the Title 18 statutes, not revised statutes. That's for corporation. Ordinance and mandates are for corporations. These are for businesses, brothers and sisters. Corporation is a business. I'm not operating in business. Remember, I was not arrested under the name capital T R A. I already in the court said, no, I am taking power of attorney of that merchant number. You call it a bond. You don't know what it is, but it's called a merchant number, and it's done by contract from your birth. They stole and took this money from you because you're a child and you don't know how to stand up for your accounting, and because you can't be held accountable, they have taken your bond from you, your treasure. You treasure to be thrown into a cage in their authority and mammon, instead of treasuring your right to stand up to these people and go into their clown kangaroo courts and tell them, you're a fake. Dave Vanderberg, you're not a judge. You're not operating in a judicial capacity. I'm challenging your judicial capacity in this case. You have no judicial capacity because you're not operating under the original Title 18 statutes. You're trying to charge me with a revised statute, and that is not constitutional. I didn't have to go into all this verbiage with him, and I recorded all of this. This is all recorded, and this has all been put on this platform. So history was made on 12/9/2024, where I subrogated the merchant number in this case, which means I took, by power of attorney, I took over that merchant number. You call it a bond, you can call it a treasury, but people don't understand. This is what's happened since they've turned this into a Kyle, I unthink. Kyle's thing says the Democrats lost. They're losers just like you. Well, this ain't about Democrat or Republican, Kyle. You've been played. That's called two wings to the same dragon. Which lollipop do you lick? Democrat or Republican? Which mass murderer in chief do you choose? In charge of the military, uniform code of military justice. You're out of your league there, Batman, Spider-Man, Marvin the Martian. Take your stupidity. They had red and blue in Rome. Let me teach off your idiocracy, Kyle. You don't know your story. History, you're in a box. You learned out of a book. Get out of here. You don't stand a chance under history. You don't understand anything. I don't play lollipop, Democrat. I don't lick that pop. Go take your worshiping of your blue and red and Democrat or Republican somewhere else. So, Democrat, Republican, Democrats, demon rats. You're an idiot. Donkey or an elephant, you rat. They're a splinter. You're like a woman. You get her on her back. She like a turtle. You ain't got no kick in you, do you?
rat, Splinter. Too much television there, buddy. I don't play red and blue. They did that at Rome, Kyle. You're a child. Red and blue, cherries and blueberries. I bet you lick that boot when you get pulled over, don't you? You better respect my authority because I got red and blue lights flashing. Yes, you do. You don't stand up for your right. You're a demon rat is what you are. Yourself. You're a demon rat. Demon rat. Get out of here with your political nonsense. Poly meaning many. Tick meaning bloodsucker. Poly meaning many. Ticks meaning many bloodsuckers. Take your politics somewhere else. You're an idiot. You don't know what the word idiot means. It's not an insult. You're just challenged by your own undefinition. Okay, so there we go, Mr. Hey, I'll go one more time. We'll just play with you because I didn't get any trolls yet. I just got to play with the trolls, this lady in red. Hey, check this out, Kyle. So I thought and I was wrong because I don't get it all right. If you look at the beginning of the 81 million people that voted for Joe Biden, right? You're good with the math there, aren't you? I said, when Biden gets in office, instead of having spelling bees, are children going to have smelling bees? Laugh at that, Kyle. Now leave. Get him out of here, Connor. Get him out of here. Get this idiot out of here, Kyle. Freaking probably knows anything about Benghazi. Get out of here. You don't know anything about Benghazi. You don't stand up for the right of the people. Never forget Benghazi, brothers and sisters. Never forget Benghazi, okay? Please. I'm a vet. It's very offensive when people have this right to come in and just speak, and they do. But they are unclean fruit, and we make examples out of idiots. And idiot is not an insult. Idiot is just a definition that people don't have. It's the same word as ignorant, but people won't define either ignoramus or idiotos. They mean the same exact thing. So I don't get offended by people who don't have any definition in their mouth. Their lips are full of translation, the translators, and that's why they think that this judge here acting in some kind of fake clerk capacity, not in an Article 3 court on the original Title 18 statutes, is some kind of authority, and they don't. And they give their authority to things like that. So we get to play with the trolls, and by definition, we have to do that because they're coming in here trying to throw the bait out and get their off, and we don't. We use them as an example. We get the bite out of them. They're trying to get a bite out of us, but we pull on them and yank on their idiocracy and teach off our trolls. It's part of the channel. We could turn the comments off and not take comments from you at all. And Pastor Apocalypse could sit here and just, but we have to have conversation and we have to address the trolls. If you have a problem with it, take it up with Lady in Red. She's the one said that you have to feed the trolls. So throw the bait out there. They're trying to get you and remember? Look, I got the host off kilter. We know what they're trying to do, guys. So that's okay. No worries. Thank you, Father, for trolls. Thank you for creating good and evil. The evil, unfruitful works of darkness trolls that allow us to easily see the light here is dark is easy because they do unfruitful works of darkness. The minute they come in, you see it by their fruit. You don't have to wait for extended periods of time. So, all right. Let's finish this up with a little bit of a last, because here we've got an hour. Good enough here for today. I'll come back in maybe later on today. Go stick it to the man. Trump's going to come in February here, this next coming days away, and start these sanctions. And when this starts, yeah, right. You said you're going to tell us about the drones. No, we don't bait anybody, you idiot. You're an idiot. You've never been in this channel. See, you're the problem. The glorious content. You've never been in here. It's the first time I've seen your name, so you're an idiot. So you've spent no time here. That's not baiting anybody. It's a play on words. You're an idiot. They already threw their bait out. In their idiocracy to take the bait if they don't know and speak in some kind of translation over my transliteration, and my definition means it's the same thing as somebody like you. You're an idiot. You have spent no time here. You don't have any idea what's coming out of your lips. You're an idiot. You understand? You can define the word idiot and show to me you're not an idiot. Let's see if you'll take the bait. You love that. It's a play on words. You just took the bait by responding to what I said. It's hilarious, and I'm okay with that because it's called an idiom. You know what an idiom is? And an idiot is two different things. They're glorious. Do you know that? Can you define the difference between both? Then you can respond. Let's see how much definition comes out of your face, your lips, your pie hole. Not your fourth point of contact, coming out the other end. Define the word idiom, because an idiom and an idiot are two different things. So unless you're going to respond with some kind of definition, don't respond in here. You will not stand a chance. It ain't about trolls. It's about people coming in here producing unclean fruit. Idiot. You spent no time here. Stop trying to troll in here. If you're going to put a comment in here, make it worth something. Put some value into the chat. You're supping with people who come here on a regular basis. This ain't about numbers and trying to gain your subscription. Actually, we throw out about 18,000 people a month, so you can get on out of here with everybody else. So, oh, watch it there, Tuggy. So, Glorious, how you feeling? So, anyways, brothers, sisters, I'd love to sit here and hang out with you, but you're gonna have to come out here, Jeff. Come out here and teach yourself. Come out here to this high desert. Oh, I gotta let these puppies out of here. They want to go outside. It's nice. I know we're gonna go out. I gotta put the solar panels and do all this. I gotta get the duties going. We got to do the duties. Do the duties. Woohoo! All right, hey. Man, oh man. So, yeah, you're going. So, listen, hey, appreciate that, Jeff. Outstanding. I love Celestial. Jeff, do me a favor. I don't know why informed Christians, please listen to me. I'll give you some Celestial. If you love stars, I'll teach you more. You can go back on this channel, and go back to the Alec teaching, back on the live streams about the 3 days of darkness and the 3 eclipses that were pulled for a 7-year. But go see informed Christians, because this is gonna bring you up to speed. And then we do have a celestial alignment coming up here this year. Remember, I believe it's April, where we're gonna have an alignment where I've never seen, because I'm a person that's cyclical. Remember, I don't do never before. I don't like never before. I do think a cosmos is an orderly arrangements. And that is by the number 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a clock to me. It's a celestial, but some things are unique, set apart. And I do, although I'm very much into patterns, cycles, rhythms, sequences, that's computation. That's mathematics to me. And I don't have a bias, because I can compute input and output without bias. I can come up with a value, or what you would call an answer or a computation, a mathematical equation, by computing all the data in a cycle over and over until there's a actual answer. And that's all a computer is, and that's all AI is, and that's all. And so for me, it's something else. So, this celestial clock is not to me some kind of fake worship of some never before thing. When I say I'm Magi and tell you these things, because I'm celestially have wise understanding, Father has given me the understanding of past and now present. I appreciate your reaching out, honestly, just to even ask for it, Jeff. Thank you so much, because and I don't remember, it says the stars can be corrupted. It's just adding to your faith, Jeff. It truly is. If you understand the gospel first, and you have that as your back, your rock, your Petra that you build off, man, having a celestial wonder and understanding and Buthos, it just adds, like Daniel, Timothy, adding to your faith. And I have to tell you, to be out here in this largest dark sky sanctuary, Kevin and I were out there just the other night, just standing out here under the stars, just with no stop lights out here, no stop signs. Like I said, no flashing, never even a flashing yellow light. I don't think we'll ever even get that out here, because it's protected from light pollution. And I'd make the biggest stink if they ever put a yellow light out here. I would. I know people would shoot it out. They wouldn't allow it out here. You're not allowed. It's protected from light pollution. So what blessed it is to be in the largest dark side. I agree with that. And that's how they're going to do this, truth. Man, you're so awesome. Thank you so much, Truth, for that. That's how they're going to be. He's going to put on his light show with Stinky Chump, and they're going to do their Operation Popeye. Man, some of you guys are going to get this. Don't believe none of this stuff, brothers. There's no Marvin the Martian. Father didn't create one single alien. Please don't fall for this nonsense, brothers, sisters. Please don't fall for this big show. They are going to pull one of the biggest scams that has ever been pulled on people's eyes in the skies by telling lies to their eyes in the skies, because people think heaven's in the sky, God's in the sky, and all this sky worship, all this pole worship, and all this north and south and sun and moon and lunar worship and twisting of this calendar and perversion. Of course you'd be looking up, and you should be. That way you'd realize that this clock is not what they're telling you. The New Year's doesn't start in the middle of the winter. That's why they've been doing this April Fool's, January Giannis ritual on you with their egg ritual. That's a reason, that there's eggs are so expensive. I already told you last year. Look for the egg prices to spike, because this is the Janus God who says one thing. I'm going to tell you about the drones day one. I'm going to put Clinton in, I'm going to put Hillary in jail. She was at the inauguration and was at his inaugural dinner. All this thing is say one thing, do something else. I don't believe any of this nonsense, brothers, sisters. So how that you're going to have to do this? So you're going to have to go back to the ways of old, brothers, sisters, is the only way you are going to survive, or you're going to go into the new system. I don't keep telling you this as your pastor and your teacher. You're going to have to separate yourself. Be in this world, but be not of it. That's right. And now's the time not to be woke up, to be doing it. Donald, listen to me, brothers, sisters. This is how we kick the living crap out of this system. Non-violence. I don't want to say peace. Stop with the peace word. Stop with the freedom. Stop with your peace and freedom crap. I don't want to hear it. Those who say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come. Tribulation is what we must go through. Brothers and sisters, you're going to have to go back to the ways of old. You stick it to the man by growing extra food and sharing it. Becoming your own supply chain is what I want to deal with. I told you I'm restricting this. I'm going to make this channel a continual beat until this happens. You have until February, at least with this dumb, whatever, it is what it is. I don't trust anything that comes out of this man's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Start putting away food. Sanctions mean high prices. You, the consumer, pay. Cutoffs mean if they cut that border off from Mexico like they did last time, and I think last time it was about food when he quit talking about that wall crap. Over the wall, it was about food. He ain't gonna. This time the border is already closed. This border is already closed, and that means it's not a hard close, but it's coming, brother. So real ID. Can you really ID yourself? If you can't prove who you are, soon they are coming door to door. Jeff is aware of this. This ain't an act. Who knows? I don't care. I'm not picky today. They're going to do this, brothers and sisters. They're going to do a big sky ritual. They're going to get into people's houses. They're going to be sneaky on how they do this. They're going to do this under the guise of a national emergency, and it's already been declared. That's why you need to pull your head out of your fourth point of contact and grow tomatoes. Get chickens. That's how you stick it to this man. Non-violence is the answer. Meek, he said, not weak. If you're not growing your own food, you are in my way. Get out of my way. Stand by and listen, but don't sit here and participate in it unless you want to participate more preparedness or spiritual things like that is fine. But get out of my way now. I'm putting away extra oil for foolish virgins. If Father does not allow me to feed them, give them oil, then so be it. They didn't get it last time. They were at the store. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. I care zero, none. I will continue to be a chipmunk, get nuts daily as much. They can call me nuts. I don't need to be told to fly south like a bird for the winter. I know I have instincts, military veteran, law enforcement. I'm going to use my spiritual calculator, discern all things, and my discernment has been telling you the same thing on this channel. Get away from the cities. Get away from people who are not growing their own food. I'm appalled at the food that I eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm appalled at the food I eat. I need to grow my own food now. It's going to happen. I am making myself do this. And that means I need a place to settle down now. Before I was going to run, and I still can, not like that, if I needed to get out of here, because I'm not fighting you. When they come to take your things, they said, do not fight them for what they come to take. What is he telling you right there? Fight or flight. You got two modes. So I've tried to put myself in a position where I'm not in. I'm 100 miles from a Walmart, brothers and sisters. I feel as if I'm in a location that Father wants me to be, where I'm in a country, town, ship. Not even a town. I have no neighbors. Well, I do. I have Kevin, and I don't even consider my neighbor. I consider him part of the ministry now. So, no more. What are you doing today to separate yourself from the system? And you do this by becoming your own supply chain. Anybody, and I'm appalled. Anytime I continue with this, I have to stop this in any way, shape, or form, and I already do, as much as I can. I live minimally. When you trade, they're not going to tax that. That's not crypto. Trading's not crypto. You're not biting into this social credit crap that they're going to take this digital system with their fake nonsense. This whole system is changing. And that's what people don't see. Right in front of your eyes, it's already being changed. It's just going from a constitutional republic to a corporation, which happened back then, and this corporation is being tokenized and digitized so they can bring in social credit scoring. That's it. I don't care. Fake nonsense, and then you'll live amongst the robots until this whole crap is over. They'll give robots rights because people are so foolish to think that a robot has rights and it can learn like a computer, because a computer is a robot. And if you go look at Nate's, what he just did, that video where they teach these things how to do the program, then they program the robot, and it's already done what the robot. Go watch what Nate did. Go watch that video that Nate put out on Canadian Prepper or recently. I'm not buying into what Nate's saying. I 99% behind Nate on his channel and everything, but I don't buy into this robots can learn crap. That's a program that's Nate's telling you. They're putting the program in it, and it's been programmed. They're just, instead of the process of what they would call a learning process, which is not. You're plotting. Just look at what that thing is doing. It's algebra. Simple algebra. Geometry and algebra is all that is. Bull crap. I'm not buying this, guys. Go watch Nate's video. We'll see what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's not. That's geometry and algebra is why they point those things like plots on a graph, and why that robot knows to do what it does. But you've already put the plots in on the graph and done the geometry for it so it knows where to. That's stupidity. I'm not buying into it. You know what I'm saying? Outstanding, Donald. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm not buying it. And that's how they're going to fool everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're going to fool everybody, brothers and sisters. It's going to be so easy to do because most of this world's going to fall for it. And that's when I want to be in this place without whoever's here is going to be here. I don't think anybody's going to come here like that after, or at least, you know, like one of you guys, like maybe Donald wanted to come here or Kinetic, and, you know, anyway, you're done. I think very soon you're not going to move around without having real ID, because they're going to create a bigger show for your eyes and get you to. It doesn't take much to spark the American public, are very easily entertained. They love their bread and circus. That's why I don't want any part of it. I want to have who I'm going to have. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't anything that I told you. You got two modes, fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? And you already better be out of Dodge by the time that comes. So Kevin is in on that with me. So I'm going to find other people again, brothers and sisters, that are in that Hados very soon. And I don't think we have a whole lot more time, and I'm not being sensational, before they shut the travel in this country down and restrict it. And that could happen. They'll have military on the streets, brothers and sisters of America. Are you ready for that? Donald Rump, the 19th president of the republic. Well, this isn't a constitutional republic. This is a corporation. So there's no republic. The republic is dead. By executive order, they're firing off unconstitutional executive orders that haven't been adjudicated through the democratic process through our House, Congress, and Senate. So it's all unconstitutional. So I don't recognize it. What you can do is you can form your own nation state. Nope, he didn't even put his hand, which is not a requirement, but it's a tell. It's not 100%. They don't even do it in a courtroom anymore, remember? You don't do that anymore. That's a formality, but it's a tell. It shows you about it. Good eye there, V. I mean, you should be able to easily see it. And then Hamburglar holding the old Hamburglar, Ivan the Terrible, the strip show. So he didn't swear an oath to the corporation. Thank you, V, for being awake. It's a corporation, brothers and sisters. The sooner you figure out that this is not a constitutional republic anymore, but you still have those constitutional rights. That's the beautiful thing about a natural, organic nation state, right? I don't claim that. I don't have. I organic, natural, and I don't have to. But V obviously knows and done enough study that this is, if you can claim national, nation state before the formation of the corporation, would have been the, original 13 colonies. He's referring to, obviously has an understanding. Do not partake in this corporation, brothers, sisters. When you grow your own meat, you are not being taxed on sheep meat, goat meat, beef, rabbits, chickens. Okay. So I got to get my butt off here and get to building this chicken coop, switch around my solar panels and stuff, guys. I'm losing time here and I don't want to lose any. I'd stay in here with you guys all day. But I got to go, man. I love you, brothers, sisters. You need to get your butt here. You need to get here, guys. Get here. Listen, I don't like the term bug out. Do you have a go bag? Do you have a go bag? Do you have a go bag? So you can go and leave and not fight. That's what you need. And Christ before all things. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important, brothers and sisters, that you have a plan to get away from chaos. I bring things in my own life, but that's okay. I could tuck back out here and just disappear, guys, out in this valley for years. People do it. If you're looking for a place that you can find a place where you can live what people would call free. I'm not a veteran, didn't fight for people's freedoms, defend people's freedoms. I fought for the right to choose. Rights, constitutional rights, freedom. Freedom, it's about the right to choose. You cannot stop somebody. This isn't serfdom when they're walking down the street. You can't illegally cost somebody's body. That is, and NDAA, yes, they can. You better understand where you're at. The best thing you can do in my studies right now is you got two modes, and you better prepare for one or the other. Fight or flight. If you come to the fight channel, this ain't the fight channel. This is the opposite of fight channel. There's no get armed and militias, and this is not the fight channel. This is the meek, not weak channel. We will grow our own food. Kevin and I, if it's just Kevin and I, we're going to do this. Like I said, we're going to grow chickens. I've already done it out here. I've already done this out here. You understand? And I'm excited to do it again. That's why I got to get off here. I was a little excited. I woke up early, and I'm inspired to do this again, brothers. Just I tried to do this 10 years ago to form a community of people who wanted to live off the grid and get their cost to zero, have a zero cost of living. Does that sound enticing to you? You can do that where you're at. Not too many places you can do it without being imposed on, because these ordinances and mandates and all this BS that people enforce across the U.S. with their little white trucks and nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But brothers and sisters, this is going to be the future. You've got to, you got to have solar. I'm working off of solar right now. That's why I got to get off here and switch out my solar panels, because I got some other lights, because I got multiple light systems up here. This is an LED system. This is LED. I have multiple lights. I always have lots of backup systems, like my heat. You got, how many ways can you heat your house? You're going to have to be ready to be your own supply chain, brothers. It's okay. You guys are totally worth it. Love you, brothers, sisters. I'll stay in here for a couple more minutes, but I got to get out of here, guys, because I need to get this place prepared. I'm not living like it's the end of the world, brothers, sisters. I don't see the end of the world in time is irrelevant. Not in years do I see some end of what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you're going to have to start disconnecting yourself from the system and creating your own chain of supply. And I'm not, I like the idea of having a local source. Become your own source, brothers, sisters. Let's narrow this down. Let's not pitter patter around or beat around the bush. Become your own meat supply. Do you have a supply, a regular supply of meat? Do something about that if you don't. Become your own meat supply, so that you do not become taxed on the meat that you eat if you can help it. They don't tax people in Oregon on food, but still, there's ways to get around this. Grow extra tomatoes and trade them with the neighbor. Maybe they grow kale and you didn't have the soil for kale. Maybe they have chickens and you don't do chickens. You do rabbits and sheep and goats. And maybe you don't do beef, and you can trade some of your rabbits because they want white meat, and they like rabbit too. They like chicken. They like, you can process. There's abundance as possible. That's the other thing that I keep teaching on this channel. Don't listen to their supply chain shortages and tariffs. They're going to create all this supply chain shortage. And if you participate in this, brothers, sisters, you have created your own issue. You can right now. There is time, even though it seems like, how do I do this? Yes, you can. Find a community. You don't have to come where I'm at. But there's not a ton of places in the United States where you're not going to be restricted. So I would really look into places that are going to allow you, either by, like, I live in the poorest county and they can't enforce it by number. There's too many people live off grid who live behind a little dune out here. Yeah, that's good to have. Good to have. Definitely something to have, Rob. I definitely would have some alcohol for trading purposes, and having the medicinals, maybe some of your oils. If you use cannabis, maybe you should look, instead of having a bunch of flour, maybe partaking down to some oil, or different things like Nate, who, if you go to Canadian Prepper, or if you need things like insulin, things if you're diabetic, that you can get the extras that your doctor will not issue right now, brothers, sisters. This is the time actually to do that. And I'm not saying unprepared, because if they start restrictions with China and Canada, which he says 25% for Canada, 10% for China, 25% for Mexico, it's on, brothers, sisters. It is on. And if you're not doing something about it, you are putting yourself in a very bad position. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need things that you need. Food. You got to have it. So get food focused. Get a water plan. Powers the weapon system. So nice there. Hey, again, water, brothers, sisters, is very important. Your water plan is everything. Like I said, appreciate it. Can't stay on it too much longer, because Kevin and I have spoken, man. We have got a plan too, and I've spoken, and I'm glad that he's on the same plan that I am. What is your vegetable plan? Why? I talked with Kevin about this. I want to eat better, man. Again, I'm appalled at my diet. I'm appalled at what I eat. I don't like the food that I eat, and that's bogging me. I want a better diet. I was going to leave the country to get a better diet. I'm serious. I was going to move to Mexico to get a better diet. I don't need to. Kevin and I can do this right now. We can do this. I'm guaranteed the man is enough. I've seen it. We don't need to be super motivated like that out here. A majority of what has been done out here has already been done. I put in a lot of years and hard work to get done the base. Now we can just build off this base, but not having a meat supply bothers me. If they close the doors, if the lights go out, if it's EMP, the sun just shot out another solar flare at us, any of that's possible, brothers and sisters. Any of these things are possible. You know what I'm saying? So, food supply. I'm not going to say that I have a perfect diet. Kevin's diet's not perfect. I'm hoping that both of us can get eating better. That way, if we have some treats or something, it's not going to rob our body if we have a good base nutrition. We talked about this last night, about growing good food in good soil. So you have high dense, high nutritious food. If you grow food in nutrient depleted soil, your food is not going to have high density in nutrition. The plant absorbs that, uptakes that plant intake your body needs to uptake. If you understand anything about food and diet, you need to go through. That's why we eat things that splits the cud and you know, it's split hoof and chews the cud. I apologize, because that's uptaken through that cow, and that cow eats that grass, and then we uptake the nutrition or just things like that through the meat. It's all part of yes, that, Rob, and they're excellent food. Thank you, Rob. Exactly. If you could take that's exactly. Thank you, Rob. Because I was actually in a minute, like I said, man, this is all going to come together. I just feel it in my bones. Father is doing this in his time, and everything's going to just be perfect timing. It won't be perfect like that. It's going to be a rough ride the whole time, but it'll work out in the end. Listen, Rob, I talked to Kevin about this, man. Shove one or two of the goats. Because I was like, well, Kevin, this would suck if we got all this homestead up here and then we had to leave. We'll just leave the animals, right, Kevin? He's like, yep, you know, and I'm glad that he understands, because it'd be hard. Imagine like that, like during a fire, if you had to leave your animals behind or something like that. But I told Kevin, because I plan on building this little trailer, boom, shove one or two, or maybe even three of those goats, if you had a couple, with you on the road when you get in your car in your little tag trailer, because when you have to get off on foot, that goat is going to, and then have saddlebags for that goat and pull that goat right behind you and have him drag that stuff up the hill into your little spot or something. Thank you so much. That's beautiful, because think about that. A goat is such a valuable, it'll pack for you. It'll eat along the way. If you have a decent water source for that, that animal is going to provide for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, later a source of meat if you had to eat it or to carry around your things. Thank you. Excellent source there. That's something I've never even crossed my mind, but it just hit me. I didn't mean to get overwhelmed there, Rob, but I could throw that, you know, because I plan on building one of those overlander trailers, little small ones. Boom, shovel one or two of the goats in there. I don't care if they poop on the floor. Goat poop's easy to clean up. What I'm saying? Shove those in there and then take them and haul them out into the woods. Thank you, Rob. Beautiful. They go with you. They go pack your stuff out and they hang around you and they start clearing your bushes. There we go. Boom. Donald's on it. They start clearing your area for you, right? So you got a little spot and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it, guys. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? What a brilliant idea. You know, tag them up in there, put them in the little overland trailer, shove one in the back of the truck in the camper, put them in there with the dogs, get the dogs used to them. You know, I used to have my dogs around my sheep. They wouldn't bother them. The sheep used to chase the dogs out here. So that is awesome, man. And then you got a meat source. Beautiful. All that animal needs is probably a good water source. Goat's going to eat whatever's around you, especially if you're up in the woods. Brilliant idea. Rob adds value to the chat. Thank you, Rob. That's a great idea. Get some goats. I talked with Kevin about it. 1 or 2 goats is all we would need for now. Maybe a milk goat, maybe 3. 1 milk goat, 2 meat goats, chickens. I don't even think we're going to do processed rabbits. There's too many of them. They grow too many. They're not bad to have, but I think we do fine with chickens for white meat. If you really want a ton of white meat, do rabbits. They will process 10 rabbits, 3 does, and $7 will make as much meat as a whole cow. Okay. The nice thing about a goat or a sheep, brothers and sisters, is that a goat or a sheep won't kill you and knock you over. You understand? A cow can knock you over, and they're generally curious. They just like to rub on, just like a goat. They're just pretty much curious. They're just curious animal by nature. They're just do their thing. You know, they're wild. So they're just curious, if you will. But thank you, Rob, for adding. That's an excellent value. I've never thought about that. And now we need to get some goats out here. So I'd love to stay on here, brothers, sisters. Coffee's running through me, so I got to go. I want to talk to Kevin here, see what we got going here for the day. And I know I've got a list of 50 things to do. I wish a couple of you guys more here were with me here now. I talk with Kevin. You know, we're definitely open. A goat or a sheep won't kill you. Dude, have you ever had a goat? Crow, get out of here, you idiot. Do you know the difference between a crow and a raven, Crow? This is Silver Rock Ranch. You're uneducated idiot. You did no research on the channel, and why would you even ask such a stupid question without doing any research? Because you're JG Wentworth. You're the microwave generation. No, they won't mess you up. You're an idiot, Crow. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. You've never lived on a farm. You've never been around sheep or goats. And if you raise them from a young age, or even they're very docile and they won't hurt you at all. They're like pets. They're like dogs. Maybe somebody who doesn't raise their animal. I'm not saying that a goat or sheep can't come buck you or something, but they don't have that nature in them. You're just an idiot. You've never lived on a farm. This is Silver Rock Ranch, you idiot. Take your nonsense. Can you define again what's the difference between a crow and a raven? Don't come in here and speak out the side of your neck. Would you like to come out here and learn how to raise sheep, raise goats? Maybe you can raise a cow, and we'll show you that a cow will knock you over and kill you. That's what I was saying. A sheep's not going to kill you. Even if it didn't knock you over, it's not going to step and trample you to death. You're an idiot. You've never been. You have no equestrian, probably couldn't mess with any kind of horses or understand animal husbandry. You don't. And so they're a much better choice than a cow, although they're both red meat. They both have their benefits. So don't come in here and talk out the side of your neck. So you don't have any definition. I asked you to define the definition between crow and raven, and you can't. Instead, you're talking about the forward point of contact, the hole on your backside, that you're believing in some kind of freedom, da-dum-dum-dum, that there's some kind of freedom in here to speak your nonsense. Do some research. It's my burrito and I want it now in 90 seconds. This used to take 3 days to make a burrito. You know that, Crow? 3 days. Think about cheese, fermentation, milk, flour, pounding, the beans. You had to dry out the beans. 3 days, and you got it in 90 seconds because you want it now. Why don't you go look on the channel and see there's been channel videos with actual goats on the property here at Silver Rock Ranch that you can find for your own eyeballs if you go do some research instead of just wanting it now. You're the microwave generation, or JG Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now. That's what you are. I've asked you to define the difference between a crow and a raven. If you can't, please leave. You're not participating in this chat. You're out of your league. There we go. See, that's the other thing, Rob. Okay, so says you can't define anything, Crow. Just leave. Crow, you can leave now. You can't define that. I have actually some crows out here that are my pets, but you're an idiot. You don't even know. Crows are amazing birds. Most people don't understand the difference between a crow and a raven. Ravens are amazing, but you're an idiot. You can't even talk about the name you have in your name because you probably think you're like, can you tell me what a crow is a sign of? Let's see if you have any knowledge inside that skull of yours between your two ear balls or your head. Tell me what a crow is. What is a crow a sign of? They have kind of a... They're known for. It's your name. You got it in your name. So can you define anything? You know nothing about me. Rabbits are too lean to live on. Goats can absolutely mess you up. You're teaching bad stuff. You're going to get people hurt. Yeah, rabbits are lean. That's not the only source. You're an idiot. I didn't say just have rabbits only, you idiot. They won't mess you up if you raise them. You know how to raise them. I'm not going to get people hurt. You're an idiot. Crow won't define anything. Crow says, you know nothing about me. No, I don't care anything. I already know you by your fruit. I didn't say to live on. And I said not to grow rabbits, you idiot, and said I wasn't. Are you freaking out of your mind? I said, we're not growing rabbits out here, you freaking idiot. You don't even listen. You can't even hear. Crow, that's the problem with people. And just make an example of this too, brothers and sisters, and I got to go. People have selective hearing. I said Kevin and I are probably not going to do rabbits. I didn't mention that they were too lean. I know that. A goat? A goat can do something to you, absolutely, but it's not going to trample you to death. It could hurt you. A fucking cow will kill you. Shut up, Crow. And I apologize for cursing, but you're not Don't sit here and say I'm going to get people hurt. You're an idiot. I'm trying to get people off the system, and you're going to, because you didn't tell people that rabbits lean. I said I wasn't doing rabbits, and I apologize for cursing. That's twice on a stream. You're just irritating because you're just sitting in here casting unclean truths. You're not, again, describing any, so you know something. Why don't you participate in the chat and produce something? Like, answer the question. Answer the question. Yeah, but will it kill you, you idiot? Crow, you're not. You're out of your league. That's what I'm saying. You won't want to participate. We know these things. I've already taught this in this chat room many a times. You're just not part of it. You just came in. You just came in. And normally I'll just shut you up because you came into a classroom. And normally when you come to a classroom, you leave your shit at the door. You ever heard of 2 girls in a cup? Ring that shit out at the door and keep it out there. I don't care what you know. If you can't come in here and shut up with a person like you and learn from somebody like me teaching, I'm not saying that you can't leave your stuff and learn in here. Just keep your mouth quiet. Then take what you know out there. Take what you know out there and bring it back and discern it later. But keep your mouth shut, people like you. You're interrupting. And if you can actually produce some fruit in here instead of just bucking the teacher, because I already taught all this. You just came in here and you just started and shut your mouth. You actually are not going to you're not going to participate in here and learn. I'll just throw you out of here. Like any professor or teacher, I don't know what level teaching, college or simple elementary or even it doesn't matter. You obviously have no morals or no values to even just sit here and even watch what's going on enough to before you start spewing your venom, because I didn't say that they couldn't hurt you. I said they wouldn't kill you. You've taken and cherry picked what I've said and trying to just pick what. So don't come in here or don't go into any classroom. Do you understand? Don't go into any classroom and interrupt a professor. Leave your shit at the door and your cup out here, your 2 girls, and then come in and then put your stuff back together. You got to come in like an empty sponge. So I'm going to teach off you, Crow, because you couldn't even define the word crow. I even asked you, instead of answering the question, you went off on some other tangent about goats and knocking you. I said that. They can hurt you, but they won't kill you. That was the statement. Get a goat. It won't kill you. It can hurt you, but it won't get. And still you're off on your own little tangent there because you can't leave your at the door. So next time you come into a chat room like this or a classroom where somebody's teaching, leave your stuff at the door. Come in as an empty sponge. And if you can't come in as an empty sponge, don't enter my classroom next time. I'll throw you out of here every time. You're interrupting me. And you're an idiot because you have spent no time in here in this classroom learning anything. You just came in because I think crows are amazing. And you couldn't even teach anything by your name. And I asked you to help the process. Shut up for a minute and teach in here. And if you can't teach, get the fuck out of here, all right? I have an understanding of that. No thanks. I enter how I wish. Don't like it. Block me. Okay, block them, McDonald. You're an idiot, Crow. You didn't produce. Hold on. Don't block him yet. You want to produce something in here? Show me some fruit. Show me some fruit. That's okay. No worries. So anyways, I love to teach off the idiots. These idiots won't learn and they're not going to learn. And if they can't, then that's not up to me. They're an unskilled, simple man, untrained, unlabored, and they're not even taking the time to discern anything. They just want to come, J.G. Wentworth. I want to take control of this. You go into a professor's classroom, you be quiet. You don't learn anything. You don't go in and teach the professor what he knows. And I'm not saying, again, that I'm not willing to learn. But if you guys have been here for a minute, we don't stand for that crap. So cats are vegan. Yeah, we got cats are vegan. All right, Kevin's got me all. All right, thanks for interrupting me. All right, I'm going to go back to my somebody who's very serious about this, who has a vehicle, who can get the flock out of Dodge, who I don't believe is going to fight anybody for anything. We're going to continue our march towards self-preparedness, self-awareness, and self-sufficiency, having our own goats and sheep. And if we decide to have a cow to kill us and knock us over, and maybe there'll be a sheep will come out here and knock us over. And Crow, thanks for coming in. You're an idiot. You didn't produce anything. You could have produced something. for the chat, but instead we saw you by your fruit. So everybody watched you. I'm not concerned about what you think about me. I'll never think about you ever again. Just so you know, you're a flash in the pan to me. And if you think about me after you leave here, please, no charge for rent. So don't think about what you learned in here or anything you saw. Spend no time thinking about this platform, because you can come and go as you please, as you said. So don't ever come back again, because you're not welcome. I absolutely, who's everybody? All 16 of you. Oh, okay. All right, get him out of here again. So bye, Crow. You couldn't produce anything. One bat. He's going to do the numbers. Here's Sesame Street. Hey, Fraggle Rock, take your puppet show somewhere else. Take your puppet show somewhere else. You can't even, you can't teach anybody anything. You're not producing anything. You got to go. So anyways, thanks for coming in, brothers, sisters. I'm going to go get up and enjoy this day. I feel super blessed, guys, again, to have this property. I have a good neighbor, Kevin. We're kind of all one part of the ministry now. He's on board with what I'm talking about, getting an individual meat source separate so we can potentially supply and trade others with this meat source. I'm 100% adamant about getting this underground geothermal garden going and getting the fence up. Those three things are my major concern about here. Everything else is kind of on hold. Not like that. It's not taking priority. I've got a list of 10 things I'm still doing out here daily anyways, just because I'm excited about getting this, property back up and used again. Hip campers are going to come, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to stay out here and enjoy the property. I talked with Kevin about that last night. I'm excited about having the hip campers come out here, other people's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Kevin has really shown how it is to come here and to make this work. I mean, he's just part of it now. His 20 and this 20 are all one in my ideas. We really plan on kind of the borders between the two aren't going to be anything but maybe a fire break just to keep them fire break between the two or something. But the fence that runs along this property from the 40 is going to go all the way from the 20 here all the way to the edges, uniform fence. Everything's going to have a very uniform look out here, this Western feel. I dig that he likes this, type of thing, and we're going to continue to work this. and I need layers, brothers and sisters. I want multiple gates to come onto this property. So that's another thing that I'm continuously to work on. And I wish I had some of you guys out here, more hands on deck, because we could be splitting off. Two, I talked about Kevin potentially, if he's going to do the Rusty Dragon, I want to get that thing moved where he wants it. There's work that just needs to be done out here. So I can continue to do work out here or on the net, brothers and sisters, all 19 of us now. But I've got to make sure I've got this place. That way, if some of you guys do show up, we'll just be even more ready when you get here. So please find your place where you need to be. Yeah, I really seriously will, Kevin. No such, or Mr. V, knows anything is luck, but we'll definitely show you what we're doing out here. Let's go. Actually, let me just give you a little update. We'll take you outside and real quick here, because I'm going to move these solar panels real quick, take them outside, and then I'll end the stream. Yeah, right, Tracy, you're going to stand here for another hour. So right now what I'm doing is I'm taking off these solar panels. These are the panels for my lights that are up here on the roof. Up here on the, I haven't finished this portion of the roof yet, done the insulation, but you see these lights, they go all the way down the middle of the cabin here. This is the inside of the cabin this is the cabin that's you guys are in, that we do all the live streams. This is the ministry where we do all the live streaming from. This will be the classroom eventually out here. So boom, shakalaka. Here we are. But I've got to go grab this other light, because this is something that I need that could be used on any. Kevin bought a set of these. This could be used in a hole. This could be used in a trailer. You could put this like Rebel said, on a boat. You could take and put this on your boat and put this panel outside and light up the inside of your boat. Same thing, same lights, because it's solar. So multifaceted. Kevin has been lighting his cabin up. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to set you down and we'll go outside. I'm going to, like I said, continue on with this work that we're doing out here. And just keep going. Oh, dude, I never even used that on. Actually, I think I didn't even use this other one last night. Where did it go? There it is. All right, I got to go set these out in the sun. Like I said, I'm going to show you what I'm continuing to work on here. I want to get this, like I said, get this place up and going to where I have a wall in front of this place again, because I'm pretty sure that Mr. Chump is going to, holy crap, guys, look at this. I can't stand this crap. This is bull crap, guys. If Trump cared about this nation, if Trump cared about this nation, he'd do something about this. And he doesn't. He's not going to do anything about this, because this is him and his stinky muskrat friend doing this, by the way. That's Mr. Operation People's Champion. Remember Operation People's Champion? You know who that is. Mr. Stinky Muskrat, right? So, all right, anyways, I'm showing you. I'm setting the solar panels up here. Here's the panels that are set up against the back of the cabin. I need to finish this cabin. The back of this is what I'm doing now, because I pulled the scatter net, the wind turbine. Hold on a second. I'm going to sit you down over here 1 second. What are you doing, Mr. Pants? I think he's got, last couple of days, he's had a frog in his throat. I think he ate something out here. You do away those chemtrails with some simple copper grounding mechanisms. Oh, but here's the back of the tower where the wind turbine came off of, if you could see that. See that? The wind turbine still laying on the ground. But anyways, I'm going to point this around just 1 second here and show you the backside where I took off the scatter net from the garage behind the cabin, and where I talked to Kevin, we're going to turn this whole thing into a garage. But the garage here is this tractor, semi 28-foot tractor trailer, and I'm putting up this wall here. As you can see, these are very large. Some of these are 20, or something. They're, I don't know, 18 or something. So abominable foods. Okay, yeah. So this is been one of my works that I've been doing, because I pulled this scatter net right here off of this building, which covered the whole building, because I want this to be able to cover my vehicle if I need to go on the road. I want to be able to take that scatter net, which I need to pull it out here soon and get it folded up and as small as I possibly can get it, instead, because that'll cover the whole semi. That will cover both Kevin's and my truck and 2 trailers. If we decided to haul 2 trailers out there, it would cover both of them. You know what I'm saying? So I've taken that scatter net off, and because I like the ability not to be able to see this place from the road, this is what I've been working on here. So I got to get off here, guys, and finish this up. I just wanted to show you. I got lots of things going today. I want to fence and other things. I want to be ready by February to have this fence up by February. That's kind of the plan. So again, this has been what I've been doing. I think it's going to look nice on this area here. I'm going to actually go horizontally, and you can see here I'm going vertically. So I'm going to bring this vertical over to here. Then I'm going to go horizontal between these two, and then go back to vertical here. So it'll have a little bit of a different, it'll be broke up here. I might even, I don't know. I was thinking about doing something, changing it up in this area here. I'm silly like that. I just got to add a little bit of it to it. So anyways, I got to go. This is something I want to get working on. Eventually too, I told Kevin, I want to get this rusty dragon moved if it's going to move. I mean, he can keep it right there. I don't care if he wants to just keep it right there. He can, but if I think he has the property next to me, purchase it, we're probably going to put it over on his property if he's going to purchase it. So the wood shed I got to finish up too. I'll take you over and show you the chicken shed. This is the wood shed I've been building out here. I've got to put the face on this thing, but this is this siding, and I want to go try to get more siding today. I really like this look. Obviously back here is the rusty butterfly back there. Where's that thing at? You can see it back there. There's another one of these buildings that I built out of this siding. So I'm going to continue to keep doing this out here and this homestead and act like, seriously, like nothing's going on, and get my own independent source of food, water, water tanks, water tanks, water tanks. Are you okay, Pants? You must have ate a rabbit. Water is very important, a source of water. Okay. These are things you're going to have, guys, your own independent source. And if you're not sourcing your own, you're going to have to be dependent on their supply chain. So I'll take you up and show you the Rancho Pollo is what we call it. And this is the birdhouse that I got to get working on today as well. They're just all kinds. It's going to be a nicer day. It feels like it's already warmer out here than it was yesterday. It was definitely chilly yesterday, but we're coming back. Literally chemtrail. So, but this is the Rusty Cowboy where we do all our live streaming from out here in the desert. The semi-trailer that has been built into a cabin / this will turn into the classroom. This is where we do probably most of the live streaming goes on from inside the building here. And it gets its name from this old Rusty Cowboy here. So this is what I want to work on today too as well. So more water, got to have water storage. So what I'm doing here is I needed the roofing because I had some of that corrugated roofing up here to block any animals from coming and getting into this and from coyotes. I'm not going to get into this property because this is everything's fenced in from here. But again, I want to continue this here, and I'm taking this siding, and I actually think I've changed my mind, and I think I'm going to go long ways on that side. So it is what it is, and then I'll probably go vertically on the other way with these half rounds here so that it'll match what I'm doing out here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Inside of this is the nesting box where they go in and actually not nesting. This is where they sleep at. There is obviously a perch in there for them to sleep at night. They sometimes will sleep inside their nesting box. This is the nesting box where I can get all the eggs out of. And this used to be the entrance between these two poles right here. And you had to duck underneath this thing and climb in there because it was all enclosed like this to keep any birds, because we do have predator birds out here. And although I'm not super concerned about them, because I do let them free range this whole area out here. These birds get to free range this whole area. Okay. This is the Rancho Pollo. And as you can see, that is one of those little riding horses right there. So it's a smaller version of a building that I've built to look like it's a full-size building. It's just, as you can see, if I stand up, I'm standing by the roof. So it's a simulation of a building. And this was the entrance. I built this building to get into the building inside of here because I was struggling to bend over. And get inside of that between those two and lean down. So I built this entrance into what I call the Rancho Pollo. And these swinging doors is a single. Let me show you here. This is where we keep the rabbits and raise all the rabbits. This is where all the goats, sheep we've done here. Do you have any goats? You ever had a goat? What is that right here? That looks like a piece of goat poop to me. So anyways, let's go inside here. This is a false door. It looks like a set of swinging doors, but it's actually just it's a single door where I could gain entrance into where we raise the rabbits at taken one of the cages down here. I used to have rabbits on both sides, but raise the rabbits in here. This, it has a lid. It keeps them out of the weather. And the rabbits do their business, and their business goes down here. Get out of here. You're not supposed to be in here. There's how I water my chickens, which is a very easy way. That's probably all frozen right now. I imagine that whole thing has been frozen because I haven't kept it thawed out. But this is the entrance on how to get into the nesting boxes where the ladies nest at inside here, where I can get all the eggs. And then they have their hen house where they can get in there. I take that entrance. Get out of here, Toggy. Tango, out. You're not supposed to be in here. So this is the entrance into what I call the Rancho Pollo, and this is where we raise all the rabbits, all the chickens, and I'm looking forward to getting all these animals back out here and doing a full homestead out here again. So just thought I'd bring you inside here, inside the Rancho Pollo. This is the inside of that building that I built, and really what it is it's an entrance to gain entrance, because I used to have to slide down through this little entrance and bend down to get in here. Now I can take this chain right here and hook it up onto this here. This holds that I can get in there, harvest all the eggs. It's a simple process. It's a refined process that's taken time. But anyways, lift this up, pull that off. Now I can get in here. So this whole building was just actually built as a front to get into this chicken coop to make it easier to service the eggs, so I didn't have to bend over. But it adds to the front of the building, and it's got a neat little appeal to it. So this is the Rancho Pollo, and it's one of these other buildings that's been built out of nothing but repurposed material. This is an old shed, obviously, that's been repurposed. And so you see what we do out here. Good times. I'm glad that some of you guys are interested, and you guys are taking some value from what we're seeing here. And I hope you're doing the same thing. I hope you got a way to be your own food source and source your own vegetables daily, so you can eat fresh vegetables that are not grown in fluoridated water, chloridated water, genetically modified, not open pollinated, just a bunch of garbage. So thanks for sharing with me. Again, this is the homestead, so I'm super excited to continue the build out here. I hope to bring more people out here in the future. I mean, there's so much room out here that many of us can sit out and enjoy. And I think eventually I want to put some kind of outdoor kitchen out here somewhere, probably going to go somewhere right out in here, where we could just sit out here and enjoy the summertime and cook outdoors, so we're not heating up the cabins. I have a big, huge grill, one of those Camp Chef, not the Blackstone, but the Camp Chef is the one that I chose to go with. Full cast iron top on it. Breakfast is in the morning. If we want to come out early, it's going to develop. I just see it. But I can't do it sitting on here the whole time, because I just stayed on here for a whole nother hour, and I'd love to stay here with you guys, but gotta go. Love you. Come back when you have some more time. Get to where you need to be, brothers, sisters. Please find that place where you're not going to have to fight for anything. So we just do an old feel out here. It's a very rustic feeling, and I don't feel like I'm living in 2025, 5785. I feel like I'm back in the 1800s out here, and that's the way I like to live. It doesn't mean I can't have all the modern amenities. There are power poles right there. And if I wanted to hook this place up to the grid, they're right there. The power poles are right here. So it's not like I couldn't do these things, but I chose to live more minimalist lifestyle. And I know that I'm going to be much more rewarding when my belly's full of vegetables that I grew and meat that I grew and eggs. I miss having eggs. So let me go, brothers, sisters. I got to get this thing done. I want to get working on this chicken coop. I got to put some food in my own belly so I can get a good day's worth of work in. I'll try to get them on a little bit later on in the day. Maybe I'll give you an update of something I've worked on out here. I do appreciate your the time. Hit that thumbs up button before you go and before I go, and leave a comment on something, some valuable comment on survival or preparedness after the channel. That way people can look in here and see the content, kind of what we were talking about. Become your own
system, brothers, sisters. This corporation is going to eat you alive. It literally is going to eat you alive. Eating their fast food and eating their food is abomination. Just like Donald said, it's abominable food, man. I only eat food that I grow. Come be a part of it with me if you can. I'll pull your head out of your fourth point of contact, guys. Now's the time. In February, he's possibly going to start these tariffs, and I don't see how things are going to get cheaper with tariffs coming. Actually, I think they're going to get way more expensive. So if there's things that you need, I think this might not be a bad time to go get it. Not in a panic. Do it in a methodical, go buy a couple extra of those 36 rolls every time you go down to the grocery store and you get teepee for your bunghole. Don't buy the whole store out. You be inconveniencing the person before, although you have that right. Do it so you're not causing any alarm. Oh my God, this guy just bought out all the toilet paper. Let's follow him home. What else has he got? You know what I'm saying? So be smart about what you're doing out there. And let me go put some food in my belly. I'll give you guys an update for the end of the day. Much agape and phileo. If you want to leave the tithe to the ministry, there's a link in the bio for the Cash App. You can do that. $5, $10, anything helps. It's not required. No, again, but less and less I'm mentioning these tithes of monetary value. But if you have abundance and you can provide a monetary tithe, there's a Cash App, there's a PayPal, and there's a Bitcoin through Cash App. If not, come back when you have some more time. Much agape and phileo, Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.